Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. We're reviewing Ready to Love. Straight up top. Guys, yeah, I'm a little bit late, but better late than never. Life, stuff going on, started stacking up, but I was able to quickly get myself together and catch up. So what we're going to do today is, I'm just going to give you like 3 snippets from episode 6, and then we're just going to go straight into episode 7. So please forgive me. Before we start, housekeeping rules, y'all. Please don't forget to like the video. I've been missing a bit, so the likes are going to be necessary so y'all can get to see it. And more importantly, I always say, please drop a line. I mean, tell me what you think, because I think we can all agree that this season, at best, lackluster, like for real. And then last of all, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. So we're gonna quickly, episode 6. What happened in episode 6? I just couldn't hold in. I have to discuss with you guys. There was a part where nephew Tommy had started the gentleman's lounge. That was last week. Remember, this is just a quick snippet of episode 6, but we're really going to be reviewing episode 7. Quick thing he told them at the gentleman's lounge at the top of the week was that the ladies have been complaining and that they needed to be more romantic. They needed to reach out. And this is what I want to say to this. If you have to tell a man at this big age, and when I use the term big age, I mean you are above, all of them are above 30. So at this point, we're going to use big age because you're not new to this. At this big age, if somebody has to tell you what to do, how to be with a woman, Houston, we have a problem. Like if he has to tell them, you get back what you put in. I'm of the mind of two things, that if he has to tell you that you get back what you put in, then again, Houston, we have a problem, and this probably shows us why the dating field right now is bananas. But then again, the other part of me doubts that they need to be told what to do. I honestly think, as I'm say it like in Nigerian, I say nalai. Person's just not interested. If you have to tell a guy, yo, you need to reach out, you have to give her a call, you have to do that. If you have to be told to do that, he's not really interested. Nothing is motivating him to move. He's not moved. His spirit isn't moved. And even if you make him move, he'll do it, but it won't come from his soul. It won't come from his spirit. Because I think instinctively as humans, we have the foundational tools we need to navigate this world. So yeah, you can get coaching from someone, but there's something here already. So I think these guys at this big age, if Uncle Nephew Tommy had to tell them that, yo, my G's, reach out, call the woman. Come on now. I don't think you need to tell a man that you need to call a woman. When he feels it in his spirit, he will call her 3, 4, 5 times, even without a call back. Because that's the nature of the beast. That's just my thing. That's my take. Y'all can let me know what you feel about that. That was just like, I was just watching just to catch up. I was like, come on now. He has to tell these dudes that they have to call the ladies back. Like, come on. Like, the whole premise of the show is dating. So if you're not calling them to establish some kind of relationship, understanding, what do we have in common, then what are we doing, guys? This is not a cooking show. This is not a show about do it yourself. You're not trying to turn up an apartment. So what are we doing? If you're not calling the ladies to get to know them, what are we doing? Why am I watching? That's I just had to get off my chest. So what I say, if you have to tell somebody at that big age to give you a ring, just cut your losses right there. Please don't do me any favors. I don't know how you all feel about it, but I'm like, please don't do me any favors. If you don't feel it in your spirit, don't do it. Just let me know. Like, holler at me and say, yo, let me talk. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna call something, whatever it is. And then there was a second pointer in episode 6. There was a part where Kayla was talking about her and Michael. Like, she felt they had a connection. They'd gone on a date, and she said she felt they had a connection, but she didn't feel like he was invested in her. Ladies, this is what I want to talk about right now. Yo, if you feel like he's not doing what he needs to do to get your attention, please don't second guess yourself, and don't compensate. Please don't compensate for him if he's not doing what he needs to do to get your attention. If he's not doing it, it's because he doesn't want to. Not because he's not able, it's because he doesn't want to. So in Kayla's mind, she's thinking like, yo, this guy, you know, she seems confused. Like, I think she can, like, at this point, Stevie Wonder can see that, like, Big Mike really likes Brandy. I think Stevie Wonder could see this. But at the same time, Kayla's maybe trying to convince herself that maybe there's space for her. Unless show improve, there's no space for you, Kayla. please don't get lost in the shuffle. And I just want us to extrapolate that into real life. If a dude is in your vicinity and he's not doing what he needs to do to get your attention, it's not because he doesn't know how to, it's because he doesn't want to. He's not motivated to. Same difference. He's just not in that. He's just not that into you. Sorry. So now we're going into episode 7. What's it called? A little help from my friends. So, you know, ladies lounge, ladies meet. What's the mission? The mission this week is that the ladies are going to show their, you know, whatever, their love interest. They're going to present their love interest to a, you know, good Judy, good girlfriend, a friend. It could be a guy, it could be a girl, whoever the friend is, to help them tease out what they may not be seeing. Because sometimes we can see people's stuff better than we can see ourselves. So you have a good Judy that's going to sit down with you and just say, yo, did you notice that? Did you notice this? That's the place of good friends. But at the same time, good friends should not replace good sense. So here you go. So first thing, Jamala's friends, I think there were 2 of them. Yeah, there were 2 of them. Don't ask me their names because I don't know. She has two girlfriends who get to meet Randall. Now, I don't know, this is episode 7, right? I've been seeing Randall, okay, a little bit scruffy, don't like to taper his beard. He on TV, but he don't get, like, I don't know if he just doesn't do it. I don't think even for the date, this way I'm seeing, it looks like to me, like both for the dates and the confessionals, he don't, you know, keep himself trimmed. Like, I always talk about justice, like he this, he that, but he tapered, he cleaned, he's well manicured. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's Randall. Everybody talking about Randall. Like, what's this? Like, he looked like, you know, Shaggy the dog. And I don't mean like that, but I mean like that. Like, he just like real boyish, you know, this is high school or even maybe middle school, because high school guys tend to make an effort. What I'm saying is that he doesn't appear to make an effort. So how is he pulling some of the hottest ladies in the bunch? And then today I was like, oh, he comes out, I think as a Mustang is coming out, and literally had to crawl out of it like a spider. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Brown man is tall. Like, it appears that the tall brothers don't have to do anything. They just have to stand up. I don't know what they said he was, between 6'3" to 6'5", whatever it is. So it's not, now it's like, oh, I get it. That's what the attraction is. And I'm not just going to say it's the height. He also, I guess, has some smooth kind of confidence, you know, smooth, like, you know, when they say don't let the smooth taste fool you, that's smooth. He gets on with people, so they just, but otherwise he doesn't invest in his appearance. Yeah, can you imagine if he did invest in his appearance? I don't know if he's a smart brother, if he's got interesting conversation, but if he invested in his appearance, like, oh man, he might just cause havoc. So maybe it's just good that he's just scruffy the way he is. But anyway, this week I was like, oh, I get it. That's why all this noise about Randy, what they call, whatever the nickname they called him. So anyway, when he crawled out the car, I was like, oh, I get it. So it looked like friends were completely won over, because I think it said so too, that he has a great way with conversation. So thumbs up for Randall with, you know, Jamala's friends. And it appears, I don't know, because I'd said in past episodes that it looks like, you know, he's walking a tightrope between playing the game the way you're meant to and doing a little too much. Because he tight with Kayla, he tight with Trinika, and he tight with Jamala. But it seems on this episode, and we're going to wait and see, it's still early days yet, that he might be closer to Jamala, might be Jamala here and the other 2 over here. Let's see, because things, you know, things change. All right, so the next meet the homegirl date was between Kadian and her friend. And don't ask me why I remember her friend was called Ching, because I was looking like, no, this girl did not let people call her Ching. Because I remember one time when I went to Jamaica a long time ago, I was on a boat. It was myself, I had 2 girlfriends with me. One girlfriend was black, the other girl was Korean. And then we had another set of people, another set of them, they were all Asian. I don't know what they were, but I know they were Asian. I don't know what country exactly. And the person on the boat was, you know, blah blah blah, Mr. Chen this, Mr. Chen. I'm like, how he know these people but he don't know us? Then when he turned to my girl and said, Miss Chen, I was like, oh no, he didn't. That's what it made me come to, like, why she let, I mean, it's probably all in good fun, but I'm like, no, she didn't let these people call her Ching. Like, what's that? But that's black people for you. That's what we do. So they get talking, breaking down conversation with Swayze. He let it be known that he's on dating apps. Okay, whoop-de-whoop. What's new? I mean, if he can do the show, why can't he do the dating apps? So yeah, he's on dating apps, and then they do a deeper dive. And, you know, he's been on the app, he's been single for 3 years, so he's been on the app for 3 years, and it comes up, I'm not sure if they put the words in his mouth or he said it, but anyway, we're hearing that that all the women he's dated in that period of time have been Latino. What do I have to say about this? I have two things. Well, two different opinions. So he's been on that app, and he's only been dating Latina woman. For some reason, shape or form, he hasn't dated a black woman on the app. He did, in the midst of all this, we understand that he has a daughter from a woman who's black. But the question now is, and it's the age-old conversation, age-old question, and it's slowly not becoming a question anymore. But it is apparent to those of you in big cities with me, confirm or deny it, that in some of the major cities, New York, LA, Miami, chocolate brothers do have a tendency to be swayed to other ethnicities over their own ethnicity in comparison to other men from other races. So it's not just, I'm not just identifying them alone, I'm comparing them. That when you look at other men, other Caucasian men, other Latino men, other Asian men, other Indian men, you compare who they date and compare black men to who they date, you see the proportion of black men dating outside of the race is much higher proportions. Now, I'm not saying, because I don't have numbers in front of me, I'm not saying that it's, you know, 80, I'm not giving you any percentages, but it's when you compare black men to the other ethnicities of men, black men are dating more outside their race. And it's more prevalent in those major cities. And so I guess it's less becoming a sore topic for black women, because black women are now saying, oh, you know what? That Italian man over there thinks I'm fly. Let's go. Because before there was always this conversation where the sisters were like, oh, I want a black. No, you want someone who's going to bring peace, joy, comfort, a friend, like all these things. You want a companion. And what color that companion comes in at this point doesn't matter. And I think what's funny is that when black men are now seeing this, like they have something fresh to say. Yeah, it was Justice Katanji. They were saying something about her husband, who's a Caucasian physician. They say so I had something fresh to say, but where were they before she met her husband? They weren't checking for her. So I think the more we as black women are diversifying our portfolios, the less it become an issue. Because sometimes if somebody thinks they have you in the corner over there, they're going to leave you in the corner over there. But if they don't know where you are, they might start paying attention. So I'm of two minds that, okay, well, that's what he's doing. That's what they do in those cities. I'm just like, yeah. But also for someone who is dating someone, the question now is, am I your pick because that's all you could find in this pack? Or do you really truly have a preference for something? So I can see how I wouldn't necessarily, I'll call it like a pause. Like, let's talk about this more. The conversation was between him, Kadian, and Ching, and cameras. But I wonder if it was just the two of them, if they would be able to break it down and tease it out, and she'd really ask the question. Because the main question she had is that, you know, am I a genuine interest for you? I think at the end of the day, that's what her question is. Her question isn't so much, oh, you dated only Latino women, blah, 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 blah. That's not. Her main question is, you're sitting with me, you're focused on me. Is it a genuine interest, or is it just a convenient interest? That's what Kadian cares about. So I wonder if it was just two of them, they've been able to tease it out. So that's my take on that issue. Now Swayze was hot and upset. Can I sympathize with his anger and him bouncing out of there? If, I don't know, I'm just going to be in the middle, but I can imagine if you feel you've been misrepresented, particularly on a platform like this, I can imagine you'd be mad. But I still don't know if he's been misrepresented or if he feels like he's just been caught in the middle and doesn't want to appear to look a certain way. Nobody wants to be called a colorist, right? Nobody does, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if his anger is from a place of that's not me, or oh my goodness, that's not the kind of look I want. That's left to be seen. So far, Swayze seemed like an okay guy, like a jokester. But he was mad today. So you know, these people who joke around, they can get mad. So he got mad and bounced out of there, had some fresh to say. So the next meet my girl is Trinika. Trinika has her girls meeting up with LJ and Justice. And I think that they met Randall too. But let's start with LJ. LJ came in, island guy. He knew how to talk with the ladies, you know. And, you know, he knows how to, you know, just to win people over. So it looked like LJ won the ladies over. Clearly a top choice for them. Then Justice shows up. She has 2 girlfriends. One calls herself Dr. Something, and then there's the other girlfriend. So 2 of them are like, they ask, which is, you know, I'm sure, and all these, you know, questions, you Google questions to ask on a date. One of them will be like, where do you see yourself in XYZ years? So they say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? He says, I don't. That he let God work it out. Then this dude went ahead and he had something to say about Jeremiah 29:11. And I have something to say about Jeremiah 29:11 because I don't know why he couldn't answer the question. Because what Jeremiah 29:11 says is, for I know the plans I have for you, light on, that's what I'm calling myself, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you, and plans to give you a hope and a future. Your job is not to sit down and just skate on thin ice. Your job is to ensure that the plans you are creating for yourself are in line with the plans God has for you. And you get that information through, you know, meditation, reading the word. However you want to connect with the Lord is how you make sure that your plans are in line, in sync. Red flag number 1 today, because every episode, Justice has red flags thrown up, just like he just be throwing up red flags. Red flag number 1 for me is beware of a man with no vision. Because this guy has no vision. He's saying that he lets the Lord lead him. He's not a prophet. He's not a pastor. He don't see nothing. He don't want, like, what is he using, a Ouija board? Like, you know, where the Lord is going to say go this way, then he's going to go this, like, that's flapping in the wind. Like, you know, that's lukewarm. Like, either be hot or cold. Like, you talk about, you don't see, that is, ooh. Like, I don't know, I guess he was trying to, you know, fly by the cuff of his tape. Like, that was the worst answer ever on the planet. Like, he confirmed to us that he feel like he had game, but he has no game. Or maybe he just crashes and burns when the camera's rolling. Someone says, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And you say, I don't. My G. Nowadays, women are out earning men. But they still, the men will say, what do you need me for? It's not what you need. The other things you have to provide stability, and providing isn't just with money. If you were a man and you're coming to approach a woman and you don't have a plan for yourself, for your woman, for your family, then that's shaky foundation. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. A woman should have a vision too, but God knows a man must have a vision. You don't just walk around and say, I'm just waiting on the Lord to show me the way. He's just doing this. Red flag number 1. Then he's talking about, he felt like his vibe with the friends was dope. Red flag number 2. This guy can't read a room to save his life. He has no discernment. Because those ladies will look at him like this. Once he answered that question crazy about what do you see yourself in 5 years, I could feel the energy, like, they're looking like, who the hell? What did you put in front of us? What the heck? Who? Wrong. So the guy felt like he had a cool vibe with these ladies. He lacks discernment. So he lacks vision. He lacks discernment. And he is misrepresenting Jeremiah 29:11. This guy, at this point, he's just begging me to talk about him like a dog. But I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to let him drag me into the gutter. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. But I just said those are the red flags. He's not going to win this week. I'm not going to talk about him like nothing. I'm just looking at him like, my G, really? Your interpretation of Jeremiah 29:11 means that you should have no vision for yourself. Yes, God has plans for you. It's your job to find out what those plans are. You get a TV from the store and you bring it to your house. Do you wait for the TV to set itself up? Or do you go seek the instructions either online in the box, use your Apple phone, your iPhone to scan the barcode to figure out what the instructions are? Same difference, sir. Like, you don't just sit there and like wait for God to be like, you know, like, no. You work and you work to find your purpose. But let me not, beat a dead horse. I'm not sure. These friends said like he is BS from the Rudy to the Tootie. They met Randall, and immediately when Randall came, Justice, Mr. I'm so cool. And you know what? I understand as humans we all have our insecurities, but clearly Justice felt a certain less than when Randall came into the room. And he definitely was intimidated, and shortly after that excused himself. So the confirmation from Trinika's friends, LJ was their top choice, Randall second. Justice, they were like, bury him. That's it, we're done with him. And this is not us piling up on Justice, but the person he has decided to present to both the cast, the contestants, and us, the audience, may not be him, but the person he decided to represent sucks. Has no substance. Seems confused. And I shudder to think that he really doesn't have a vision, or he just was trying to be cool, and the cool fell. Like he just slipped and fell and lost his way. He might not be what he's presenting. And I think that's one of the painful things about reality TV. If you misrepresent yourself, it's really hard to come back from that. But maybe if he can, maybe the reunion might be a time. But right now, he's not been able to redeem himself. I'm just looking at this guy like, you go from bad to worse. And he seems clueless about it too. Sometimes when you're sinking, like you feel the waves coming up to your neck. Like you got your neck up, like you're drowning. Like he acting like the water's up to here. And he acting like he's just walking on air. No, my G, you drowning. Nobody wants you. You dead in the water. You DOA, dead on arrival. All right, so I'm going to talk about this guy. So next, Charisse has a girlfriend meeting up with Samson. How else was it going to go? Samson don't have any competition. Nobody else checking for Charisse right now. I don't know if next week somebody else is. Nobody checking for her. So I don't know if her interest is interest of convenience, or she really likes Samson. Cause nobody checking for her. Like you can hear the echo. Dust bunnies rolling. Nobody checked. I didn't think it was going to go any other way but good, because she don't have any choices. When you don't have choices, sometimes you rein in the madness. So it looked like Charisse has reined in the madness. Now next is Kayla's friends meeting up. So first person that Kayla's friends meet, or Kayla's friend, she meets up with Mike. Now Mike keeps going on. This is second or third time he's talking about, Kayla has something in connection with somebody else. And I'm like, my G, but don't you have a connection with Brandy? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, is this dude a hater? Or is he, hater is usually a cover for insecure. My guy he's acting really insecure. I don't know why. Like, so because eventually you've said it that he seems perturbed and bothered by the fact that Randall and Kayla shared a kiss. I don't remember what they did or how it did. But I'm thinking, like, remember when you guys were doing, Samson and Delilah in the Garden of Eden, when you guys had a picnic with Samson? Like, y'all did everything but that. Like, what's your point? I don't know. Y'all help me understand. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but I'm like, what are you mad about? You've been all over Brandy, but you still have like a curious interest. You actually used the words, you called Kayla like a fantasy. Are you scared to approach her because you think she's too much for you? Or what? Like, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, what's the source of the insecurity? Is he really interested in Kayla, or is he just playing? Like, this is like, I won't call it a red flag, but it's a yellow card right now at this point. Like, some don't smell good in the waters. This needs to be teased out. Like, Kayla shouldn't just like float with it. Like, oh, I think we have a connection, but we don't know. No. Like, what's the issue, my G? Like, what's the deeper issue? Like, what's going on? Because it's not like you're sitting in isolation somewhere. How are you sitting with someone, hanging with someone, chilling with someone, but you're coming to her and your thing against her is that she's also having a connection? That's the whole premise of the show. If you can't handle it, why you sign up for a show like this? So you only want Brandy because what, you think Brandy doesn't have any other interests? I want more. I need some more information on that. So anyway, Randall shows up, and it's already been awkward because it keeps talking about Randall. I hate it when people are on dates with other people and they always keep referring to a connection that this person has with somebody else. That person's not here right now. Focus on what you guys have and figure out if it's something or not. So of course, the object of the conversation comes up. I'm uncomfortable for Kayla. Kayla's like looking at everywhere but Randall. Maybe she was looking at Mike, I don't know, but her friend was able to actually told her that, you know what, I hear you say that you think you and Mike have a connection, but Randall was looking at you the whole time and you couldn't even hold his gaze. Like, my G, what's going on? Because you're going to mess around and lose. Like, I'm not saying that Randall wants to skip Jamala for Kayla, but I don't think Mike is in a position right now to be a viable candidate. Like, you can merely entertain him, but he's not a serious candidate that you're going to turn away from someone who actually has an interest. So now we're talking about Brandy. Brandy's friends meet with Samson first. I think there's something occurred here, right here, that Samson immediately said to Brandy. He was like, you know, what did he say? He wanted to tell her that he was interested in her. And I think that is an important declaration that you as a woman should hear. And if you haven't heard it, that's a problem. Don't assume anything. Don't assume anything. He needs to declare an interest in you. There needs to be some sort of official declaration of interest. I'm interested in you. I like you. I want to know I want to get to know you. But whatever it is, there has to be, or else you're just kind of. That's when it's like, that's when it gets to the point where it's like, what are we doing, kind of thing. When you just kind of fall into like, oh, we're just hanging out and we're just doing don't just nothing like, what's up, my G? What are we doing? What are we? What's going on? That is like, if you don't have that declaration, that's when it gets to a certain point, probably to a point where you think you like the person, then you're now wondering, what are we? Does he like me, or is it this? Are we friends benefits, or is it like, yeah, sometimes it's why it's good to start having real questions and real conversation up front. And sometimes some questions may feel uncomfortable, but better asked sooner rather than later. Because, yo, in 2022, you don't want to spend weeks talking with someone, getting to know them, getting used to them, and actually looking forward to conversations with them, only to find out that like you just a homie, you just a pen pal. So we get over that. You know, Samson has an official declaration of interest in Brandy. Then Mike comes, and this is where I said, and this simply confirms what we just discussed in the last segment when we talked about Kayla and Mike. We should call him Big Mike. Big Mike he came strong. What did he do? He came with a gift for the friend. So he knew how many people were going to be there. He knew there was going to be one person there because he came with one gift. And then it came with something like beautiful like this, you know, these rose arrangements that come in boxes now, very attractive, and comes with two things. Did he do that for Kayla? I think it reiterates my point where it's, if they're not doing what you like or what you expect or what would, you know, check your boxes, it's not because they don't know. It's because they don't care. Now, is that 100% true all the time? No, but most of the time it is. Big Mike came in, took over. Now, I don't know if Randall was there. Maybe Randall makes him feel nervous. I don't know. But the friend and Brandy were focused on Samson. The friend and Brandy were focused so much on Mike. I'm like, yo, you remember Samson's there, Samson's right? There sitting like, you know, like a wallflower. Mike took over. That's his lady. So then he's not interested in Kayla. Is like, what the hell's going on? Or is he just keeping Kayla on the side as a placeholder so he don't get kicked off the show? Because his representation was completely different. That's the second time I've seen him do that. What's key here, and I think I said this before, was Brahma said on camera that she gives him butterflies. Unless Brandy says she doesn't want, Brandy's the one he wants. That's just my take. And the next lady is Looney. Looney's friend first meets Justice. I'm questioning the caliber of Looney's friend, because apparently she was won over by Justice, or maybe Justice, you know, was not nervous today and talked like a regular person. I don't know, but I'm looking at her from the side. I'm like, yeah, my G, really? You think Justice is cool? Whatever. They meet LJ. And of course, the corny question is like, something about, oh, what's your position on sex? You know, about waiting, and you know, Justice comes up with a great answer. Well, that's not, you know, that's not everything, and he can wait, and blah blah blah. Whatever he said. So okay, he said a good answer. And then LJ, keeping true to his roots, he said he's, you know, he's an island guy, and he can't wait 90 days. My G, if it's somebody you like, somebody important to you, you better wait 90 days. But I'm not telling you who to, you know, apparently at the end of this date, you know, Louina and her friend conclude that Justice is their top choice and they're not really feeling LJ. Big mistake. Anyway, let's go into, so we, they have the go back, ladies lounge deliberation. Who are in the elimination dates? We have one date with Justice, of course, and that's Kayla. and one date with LJ, and LJ meets with Looney. So, you know, what I like is that LJ, off the top, off the rip, knew that he had said that everyone knows that once the ladies have a deliberation, that if you get called for a date, you're in the bottom. He knew that, but he had such a great energy. Yo, that's important. I hope he finds the person for him, because that's important. Because that, and like something, so because that you can parlay that or extrapolate that into real life. Life isn't going to be easy. Not everything's going to happen the way you want it to. And then when those times come, you don't want someone who's sulking, has a bad attitude, is snapping, is not there to support. But he's like, yo, hit me with it. That gave him points for me, because you if you want to know who someone is, watch them get information that's not good. Like, watch them get bad news to really see who a person is. Watch them go through something sad to really get a sense of who they are. Like, who are they really is when they're down. When you want to see who a person really is, watch them when they're down or when something isn't happening that's favorable to them. And being kicked off the show apparently is not favorable, but he was just boom. If you weren't listening to the sound, you wouldn't know it was an elimination. Before she told him what she told him, Looney was talking about, yeah, I want to know if you really want me. I'm like, heifer, please stop playing. Like, you trying to excuse your preference for justice over Looney, not because you don't think he. Remember when you had controversies? Who was calling you? It was only LJ. So stop playing. Stop playing. Tell the guy you don't want him and let him be, instead of playing like I don't know if you like me or not. That's a lie. But anyway, it turns out ladies are going to keep, you know, Looney, or they're going to keep LJ. The date goes to my dude, Justice. You know, at the top of the ladies' lounge, I said, once I knew who was in Elimination Day, I thought to myself that, yo, if they don't send Justice home this week, I'm over this. I'm just going to be watching y'all from the sidelines. That's exactly what I said. So Justice exit saved the day. So Justice, I'm going to give you a cover. I'm going to give you a cover this week, because your exit saved the day. Because I'm like, if they don't send this guy home, because even the way when he was told, like, this dude wants to be pursued. I mean, if that's your thing, I'm not. Yeah, that's your thing. But yo, really? I mean, it's okay for some. It's just not okay for me. Let's be very clear. Can you broker a conversation with someone? Yes, you can. Like, you see someone, hey, how you doing? But he should be the one doing the pursuing. Y'all can tell me what you want. It's 2022. I believe that he should be doing the one. He should be the one doing the pursuing. Period. Oh no, let me do it again. I believe that he should be the one doing the pursuing. Period. We're going to do City Girl style. Period. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like, mega strong. I'm not saying you can't say how you doing. Yeah, make an introduction. Do what you like. But let him do the legwork. We're at the end of episode 7, and Justice has finally gone home. Like, they should have sent him home a while ago. Guys, we're at the end of this episode. I just want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Drop a line, comment what you want to say, and don't forget to subscribe. I apologize, wasn't able to get you episode 6 last week. You know, real life happens, but here we are. We got episode 7, a little bit late, forgive me, but I hope you enjoy it. Y'all, thanks for watching. LolaAjisafe over and out.